new DCL example for the safety and regulatory. And look at the picture on the left-hand side. You can see that it is the exponent and the subpoint on the product. And for the current code, you can see that it is the SR204. And the defect we highlight in the red color is a subpoint. And you can see on the screen, we list out many defects. And for the new update, we update the code and also rearrange for the word sequence. And it is the new defect code is SARE02H safety and regulatory defect that related to the product. And for the defect description, we call that any defect related to safety requirement for country sale or could result in injury to customer, such as number 1, subpoint sub-H, and number 2 is metal needle contamination. Number 3 is insufficient well unsecure construction on the furniture, supporting goods and cookware. Number 4 is a small part loose attachment for children product under 3 years. Number 5 is or any failure on the on-site testing for the electrical product, such as high port test, incorrect polarity. Number 6 is any visible defects such as insect infected, mold and mildew. And 5th on the product. Number 7 is contamination on foreign material, floater, domestic. And number 8 is plastic film thickness below minimum allowance standard. So for current this defect, it is the subpoint. You can see it is the critical defect. So that's all for my sharing for the DCL defect sample. And move forward for the next, Chris. I would like to introduce Chris. He will introduce to you for the inspectorial app.
Thank you very much, Tom. So good morning and good evening, everyone. Again, nice to meet you. I'm Christopher Monzon. I am part of Central America PSQA office. So at this particular time, we're going to review actually the changes that you will see inside Inspectorio once we release this new DCL. So again, if you review in the invite, the proposed date for this rollout, it would be on August the 1st. So at that particular time, you are going to review these changes in Inspectorio. So that will be the first. Then actually the changes in how Inspectorio would work, it is not going to be any change. So that would be the confirmation. The only thing that you will see that has some changes, it is how the information is being shown. But during the process of entering information, calculating a sample, all the questions that you have to answer prior to the inspection, that remains the same, so nothing has changed. Then also, something that you would see that has changed a little, it would be that right now we're going to have two options in order to select criticality level for each of the defects. So we're going to have two options. The first one, it would be the defect that it would be predefined. So for example, it would be a defect that can only be critical or maybe major. So in this one, it is going to be shown predefined. Okay, you won't be able to change it. The second option that would be open for a particular type of defects, it would be a manually selected one. So for example, for some defects, you would have to review the zone that it is allocated, maybe the size of it, to report it as major or minor. Okay, so that would be mainly the changes. We would have these two options. So I'm going to review it in more detail. Maybe Kevin, you can change the slides. Okay, so also, what is the changes that you're going to review regarding to the defect description? You're going to review that actually we have added a larger definition for each of the defects. As you can see in this example, there's a larger description. And for some of them, as the one that it is highlighted, you can see that it has a description, for example, skip stitch, and also it has a criticality selection guidance. So what does it mean? It tells us that it is a major if if the skip stitch, for example, it is allocated in zone A, or it is a minor if it is allocated in zone B. So this would be available in particular defects, not in all of them, because remember, some of them are by default a particular criticality, but some of them we have to select it manually. So this would be actually some of the changes. The other one regarding to the defect description, as you can see, as and also as Kevin showed us previously, the defect code, it is different. You would see that it has 4 letters again, numbers, and an H. The H represents that it is a hard lines ready to assemble and accessories um, defect code. Okay, so this would be the change related to the defect description itself. Then, Kevin, if you can help me. Okay, the next one we're going to review in a deeper detail. There's 2 options that we're going to have regarding to the criticality level. So, for example, the first option, it would be for the ones that it is predefined. So what does it mean? Whenever we press a defect, for example, in this example, it is the SARE01H, which is a safety and regulatory defect. This one, it always have to be a critical. So that is why, as you can see in the example, it is always selected critical. So this is something we cannot change. It is always going to be like that, okay? So this is the type of defects that are by default. The next one, it is the ones that we have to select manually what it is the criticality level. So what does it mean? For example, for this one, BISU01, which is visible contamination, dirt, oil stain, for example. As you can see, also it has the criticality guidance that if, for example, the dirt is in zone A, which it would be, for example, the visible area or the principal area, it depends. You would see that in the bottom of the screen, you would see that it has 3 options: critical, major, and minor. So in this one, we need to select, for example, if it is in the principal area, that it is a major. But also I want to highlight something that we are working currently with Inspectorio, table the use of the criticality that it is not possible to be added for each of the particular defects. For example, for this one, it shouldn't be a critical, but even though Inspectorio will allow you if you press on it, so that is why we're working to solve it. But during this period of time, it is something that we need to be very careful of not to press critical for this particular ones. But how it is work, you just press major and then you press on continue. We're going to review it further into a demo, so don't worry, we're going to review it deeper. Okay, as you can see, we reviewed that we have a change in the description, the defect code. Also, we review actually that we have 2 options of criticality levels, but also we wanted to remember something very important, which is the photos that we're going to upload for each of the defects. So the photos, one of the changes that we need to do is actually to add a measure tool, maybe a measure tape. So the idea is that with this, you can reflect actually the zone with the picture and also the size of the defect if it is needed, obviously, for each of the defects. So this is something that it would be mandatory from now on to have a picture. Also, I think, let me see, we don't have it here, but it is the comment right now, it would be optional mainly, because if you feel with the pictures, we can review the defect itself, we can review the zone where it is allocated, and also we can see the size with the help of the measure tool. It is no need to add a comment, but if you feel like you need to add something, you are free to go. You can add any comment in the comment section, so we can understand better the defect if we need to do after an analysis. Also, in the DCL, you would find that we have added one new defect. This one, it would be the BISU 29H, which it is allocated in the visual category. This means that it is means no exact aesthetic defect that can be found in visual defect category with mandatory input for defect description needed. So this is with this one, we need to be very careful. You need to review all the defects, but if you cannot find the correct defect, you can use this one. But the idea is that it would be mandatory for you to also to add a description. So in this one, we could have an idea of what is the defect